Hello. So I had a comment from Jarek, and he just brought up a great point. So for people that have problems getting past this and past tinnitus, and it just keeps traumatizing them, and they just can't seem to stop thinking about it and stuff like that. It's so important to recognize the way you think about it is almost everything here. But it's hard to convince such people of that when they don't believe it. But what's interesting is over the last couple of years, I've encountered people who didn't believe it, and then they got better and they believed it. So there may be some examples where what I'm saying just doesn't work, but I doubt that. But people will doubt me about these words, so I wanted to qualify all this before I launch into this topic of the way you think about it is everything. So, there's so many people where they're just saying, I'm so stressed and there's nothing I can do to make this sound go away, and it just absolutely traumatizes me and my life will never be the same. These are such strong words, and they have become beliefs about what your life is like now and what your future life is going to be like, and that there's just no hope. And these strong beliefs are what are holding you back 99% of the time. So examining your thoughts about this sound, and let me tell you, when you first get it and you've got this sound and it's so loud and you can't sleep and you're stressed all day, it's hard. And it seems like it's going to be like this for the rest of your life for so many people. But then they change. And it's usually not that fast, unfortunately, but they change. So I want to invite you to think about what you're saying to yourself about this thing, because it may be the very central part of what you need to do to get better. You need to change. So what are you saying? You might want to even write them down. And then we have to come up with a response to that. So the sound is so loud and there's no way I can not think about it. That sort of statement. Well, actually, sometimes when I play the background noise and I get busy doing something, maybe for a minute or a couple of minutes, I'm actually able to not think about it. I'm actually thinking about something else. Or maybe, there may be just something where somebody suddenly says, hey, there's a fire, we gotta run. And you're not gonna think about the tinnitus because there's a fire and you gotta run. Maybe not, that's not exactly what happens, but there's something where you suddenly have to take care of something and you don't have time to think about the tinnitus. I know that happens, even for some people that are in an extreme case. So we have to think about taking the things you're saying to yourself about this sound, and how can we change your belief about it. It may not happen overnight. And some of my earlier videos are about saying things that are almost the opposite, just to counter it. Because when you have reinforced, like you got this sound and it just drove you batty for weeks, days, weeks. And then what happens when you have somebody hit you every day? Like imagine if every day somebody punches you in the face about, and like it's gonna really be abusive. You've been abused by this sound. And fortunately, you're not getting punched in the face. But just the example is that reinforcement. If every day someone came to you and said, you're going to be traumatized for the rest of your life by this sound and you're never going to get better. And they just say it again and again and again. What's going to happen to you? Right? It's going to become a strong belief. and then it's going to be hard to break. And that is so much the situation with so many people, is that they've said this again and again. So we have to start to reverse it. So let me make some statements that I'd like you to try to think about incorporating into your repertoire of things you say to yourself. A lot of other people have gotten better, and I can get better too. There are people who have said that tinnitus used to traumatize them and they couldn't sleep and they were stressed all day, and then they reached a point where they don't barely even notice it anymore. Those people exist, and I can be one of those people too. Actually, the sound is not that bad. It's a high-pitched sound, whatever it is, but actually I can deal with it. It's okay. It's not going to hurt me or anything. It's just a sound. I will be able to be less stressed about it. I'm working on some things to help me focus on other things rather than think about the tinnitus. And I believe if I keep working on it, on myself, I can make some progress. So these types of statements, I even made some videos about, it's such a beautiful sound. I love the sound. I love the sound of my tinnitus. It helps me feel alive and know that I'm here and healthy and free. You know, it's a little bit bullshit, right? But actually it can kind of become your reality if you repeat it again and again, just like you've been punching yourself in the face again and again. I hate tinnitus, I hate tinnitus, I hate tinnitus, right? And then I'm never going to get better. My life is hopeless, right? So you've been reinforcing it, so we have to reverse it. So I want to invite you to think about some of the things you've been saying to yourself and then come up with some statements, and then instead of punching, maybe you can start caressing. I love the sound of my tinnitus. It feels so good having tinnitus. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm just making jokes, but seriously, you know, we have to reverse the beliefs you have, and it may be the one thing that changes everything for you. So think about that, and that's my video for today.